Welcome to Mission Control Houston. Today, the Try and Prove It show will be conducting an integrated field test. The internet can speculate on all kinds of secret transmitter systems, but here on the Try and Prove It show, we have to prove it.
Please set the hot compute to armed.
System is armed.
T-minus 5, 4, 3, start sequence, 1, 5. Nominal under pressure.
And we are live. If you can hear us okay, please give us a 5x5 in the comments. Thank you, Kelly. We also have James May coming on tonight as well. I have some new lighting and a tighter camera angle. And tonight we are going to have a sort of two sections of the show. We're going to talk to James first about some new developments in the case, as well as some old things. We want to talk about some things I've been thinking about, some things that Kelly's been thinking about, and we're going to do that for about half an hour. I'm going to keep track of that, and then we are going to actually go into the new Try and Prove It YouTube channel only. We're going to switch. We're not going to be streaming from my channel or from Kelly's channel on YouTube. We're on X. At that point, we are going to go only to the Try and Prove It channel. I did put the link to that channel in the description on YouTube, and I also posted it somewhere on X if you're watching on X. We'll figure that out later. But when after about 30 minutes, we'll say goodbye to James, and we will head over exclusively to the Try and Prove It. That is, the handle for that on X is at Try and Prove It, and then it's just the Try and Prove It YouTube channel on YouTube. So we're going to switch in about half an hour. So if you come back in 45 minutes and it's over, just go to the description in YouTube or go to at Try and Prove It on X to find us there. And without further ado, how are you doing, Kelly?
Doing great. Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful week. Seeing that intro video really got me jazzed. So thank you so much, Jordan, for putting that together. It kind of gives me chills just reliving that moment. That was a big deal. I mean, that was months of work for you, all culminating in, just a matter of seconds. And I know that there's more that you have up your sleeve or up your white freedom shirt, I guess you could say. But that was really cool to get to see.
Yeah. And we're doing another one this Saturday. There's going to be some upgrades. We have a new camera that's going to show the rifle in sync with everything else. And I also have a second solenoid valve that I have here. This is the second one now. And I'm going to be able to simulate the necklace behavior. So that's going to be pretty cool. I think it'll be the necklace behavior. I think that's what I'll do. But we have upgrades on that test every week. And it's going to be less windy because we had an issue with that the last couple times. I'm also going to have actual video footage stored locally of it so that it's not like even worse potato cam footage than we had from Charlie Kirk, because that's what we had last time. So we're going to fix all that stuff, hopefully. And Kelly did a really good job of presenting and hosting that. And we're going to make it better next week. So anyway, our first thing to do tonight is we're going to get James's reaction to that field test. I'm going to explain what it was real fast. Basically, and this is for James, because on this show, we really like to have differing opinions, different perspectives. When we don't want an echo chamber, we want to have people come on who disagree with us so that we can get feedback on our ideas from people who don't agree with us, who will actually give us good constructive feedback. And James has been on the show many times, and he's amazing. When he comes on here, he gives us really good feedback, and we really appreciate it. That's why we keep having him come back on. He's great. So I'm going to briefly describe what the test was this past Saturday. When I speculate about what happened to Charlie Kirk, when I say that, oh, it was a squib, and oh, there was a puff of air in the back because there was a second squib, and oh, they synced the rifle shot to the Squib using some kind of magical computer transmitter thing that nobody can actually describe or reproduce. What I did in this test is I actually put it in concrete. I built the system that is required to synchronize the Squib to the rifle shot with transmitters in real life, in real world, to demonstrate, hey, this stuff actually works. It's not just speculation. We can demonstrate it. We know how it works. And in the process of doing that, we find out that, oh, we need a backpack that will house some of the gear. And we need another backpack that will house some of the other gear by the rifle and by Charlie Kirk. And what we can find out is, oh, when you look inside that backpack, it was pictured in the, what is that? What was that?
The universe telling you you're on the right track.
It must be, I don't know what that was. And I lost my train of thought. But what we find out is when we do these tests, when we do these demonstrations, when we actually build it in real life with our own bare hands, we learn things about the case, about the anomalies that we observe on the day with Charlie Kirk. When you look inside the main backpack that needs to be beside Charlie, it's basically a TVU backpack that Keli talks about sometimes. It's basically the exact same thing. It's just not for live video. It's for a Squib and for a remote rifle. When you look inside that backpack, it looks like a bomb. And it was featured in the video there. It looks like a bomb. It feels like a bomb because it has a heavy battery. And because it has a heavy battery and it looks like a bomb. So when you look at Mikey McCoy, we need someone to carry that backpack. And we think that's why, or at least I think that's why Mikey McCoy got out of there so fast, is because he's basically wearing a bomb or something that looks like a bomb. And he wants to get out of there as soon as he possibly can. And I see Blake in the comments, whatever. But I just posted to X a video of when he came on my channel. He's not welcome on my channel anymore, but when he came on my channel and we sort of debated for about half an hour, I told him, one day soon, I'm going to be able to go out into a field and I'm going to demonstrate the CO2 pendant gun, and it's going to be backpacks and it's going to look like a bomb. And what do you know? Last Saturday, I did exactly that. And it worked. It didn't work the first time, but it worked the second time. So I said something and it turned out to come true. So James, do you have any questions about this test or comments on, do you think it proved anything, or what do you think about it?
I'll, we'll see. That's kind of been my opinion. I mean, until we find something that's 100% definitive, I'm open to it, but at the same time, like, I haven't seen anything 100% definitive.
What's your thoughts on why Mikey McCoy left so fast?
You know, people act in a chaotic situation. People act chaotically. So I don't know exactly what he was doing. I don't know if he just freaked out and needed to leave. Like, so that's just my opinion. Like, and I've been in situations where people that are used to being around trauma, if it's somebody that they know and love and care about, that response kind of goes out the window. And I've also seen that same person, when something happens and they're there, like, they spring into action, they know what to do. So, you know, chaos makes people behave chaotically.
But James, to your point of not seeing something 100%, you know, behave exactly the same way that we saw on 9/10, I mean, you haven't seen anything behave exactly the same way we saw on 9/10, including a bullet.
So with the bullet, like, bullets are just unpredictable. I've had arguments with people about the bullet, and I've researched it, looked into papers written about the trajectory of bullets, especially when they go through bodies. And every paper that I've read, it just basically says that they're just unpredictable because the body has too many structures that will make a bullet behave unpredictably. So then one thing that they bring up is that your skin is elastic and bouncy. Your muscles have more of or less that same kind of tendency, but the tendons have a different elasticity, and then bone is pretty hard, but there's elasticity. Like
Is a 30-06
anybody.
bullet predictable?
Oh, absolutely not. And this is coming from
I
people that
think it
hunt.
is.
The people that hunt will tell you that they've shot deer and that the bullets have ricocheted. Like somebody said they shot a deer in the rib cage and it hit a rib bone and it bounced all up and down into the body. And I think the bullet ended up in the hindquarters or something like that.
It sounds to me like a fishtail. It was this big.
You want me to tell you who said it? It's somebody that I think everybody knows. No, I won't. But it's somebody that everybody knows, and that person is an avid hunter.
Okay, so back to the field test. For me to convince you that the fake death theory has weight, for you to consider it as a viable candidate explanation, what would I need to do in the field test to convince you of that? Not that it's right, but that it's a good candidate explanation for what happened.
You would have to convince me that the family of Charlie Kirk would go along with faking his death. And then you would also have to convince me that Charlie Kirk would be okay with faking his own death. I don't see that from everything that I've seen. Like that would be extremely out of character for him.
Did you know him personally?
No, and I'm just saying, just off of what I know, it just seems like something that he wouldn't do. It goes against all of his principles, lying and not being forthright and truth telling and everything like that. That doesn't seem like him. But
Has there
yeah,
So
ever
you're right.
been
I don't know.
a politician, maybe, who just because he's in politics, right? Like a politician who you've believed in and felt like they had upstanding character, who then later turned out to not be as upstanding as you thought that they were? Just for kicks.
Absolutely not. There are no upstanding politicians. I've known some politicians. Every single last one of them are are doing two things. They want to get reelected, and they'll lie to get reelected.
They're actors, right?
They are big time actors.
So let me ask you then, are you asking why would Charlie Kirk the character fake his death, or are you asking why would Charlie Kirk the actor fake his death?
I guess I can ask both. Well, I don't guess. I can ask both. I'm asking both. And on top of that, I don't think Charlie Kirk is necessarily a politician. He's a political figure, but he's not a politician.
But he's a character. He's not real.
Define what you mean by he's a character.
I mean, a figure
Is
at minimum.
public figure who's highly curated, who exists in the public eye to serve a purpose, who has lines, who has beliefs and political opinions and habits that are intended to serve a political goal that are not necessarily who he actually is.
I could see that. But to the degree that he would fake his death that's not a boundary I don't think he would cross.
Let's go back to the physical evidence, though, because I think that's where we should start. If we see an anomaly with the shirt, we see an anomaly with the back of the shirt, we see an anomaly with the necklace, we see an anomaly with no exit wound, we see an anomaly with the audio that puts it into the van and not into Charlie Kirk, we have to start asking a lot of questions about, is the best explanation for this really the one that makes everything a super weird anomaly? Or is it better to look for alternative explanations that actually make sense of every observation that we make, that actually makes sense of the necklace behavior? that actually makes sense of the shirt behavior, that actually makes sense of the back of the shirt behavior, that actually makes sense of why the bullet sound would be going into the van and not the trunk. Would it make sense if I can go out into a field and demonstrate every last one of those things in real world conditions and reproduce the neck prosthetic with the blood coming out and go to a pizza place wearing the whole thing and order a pizza and just sit there for 20 minutes and not have anyone see that I'm wearing anything, but still at the same time be able to just press a button and have all this blood come out of my neck. If I can demonstrate all of that stuff and explain the shirt behavior and explain the necklace, explain the back of the shirt, explain the blood, why it comes out coagulated when it shouldn't, explain all these things, would that make the fake death theory a better or at least equivalent candidate hypothesis compared to the federal narrative?
No, because then you would have to prove who all was in on it to fake his death. I mean, you'd have to prove that the family was in on it. You would have to prove that the court was in on it. The judge was in on it. You would have to prove that his parents were in on it. You would have to prove that the coroner was in on it. You would have to prove the
But wouldn't the
university was
physical
possibly
evidence
in it.
prove that?
You know, no, not really, because it could be explained by the fact that he just got shot.
Couldn't
I mean,
also couldn't the contextual evidence also be explained by it's a conspiracy?
No, I mean, if you really want to go that way, I mean, you just prove that you can fake a death is all you've done. You haven't proved the other things. So the first step would be you would have to prove that he faked the death, and then you would have to prove that there's a wider conspiracy with people involved. So if you prove the first part, the fake death, sure, but then you have to prove the other portions of the equation.
Let me ask you this. Would you agree that it's best to, when we're trying to figure out what happened, would you agree that it's best to start with what physically happened? The
Sure.
physical evidence?
Sure.
Okay. And what is the forgetting the contextual stuff, if I can demonstrate every single anomaly on the body and explain exactly why it would happen that way and do it exactly that same way, wouldn't, if it is best, if you agree that it is best to start with the physical evidence, wouldn't that lead you towards not trying to say, oh, we have to prove that the family did this, we have to prove that this person did that, we have to prove that it was a huge conspiracy? Would it be better to do that, or would it be better to say, okay, we've established that the best explanation for the physical anomalies is X. Now we need to ask, okay, what further research can we do to maybe explore why that would have happened? Not to prove it, not to discredit it, but to say, okay, if that's what the physical evidence says, if that is the best demonstration by a landslide, shouldn't we look at it from the perspective of, we need to figure out why this happened?
Okay, so again, if you prove that you can simulate a fake death in the same manner as Charlie Kirk, all you've really proved is that you're really good at faking a death. But even if you say, okay, well, my I don't even know what you would call it. My demonstration proves that this is the way that he faked his death. Okay, if you want to go that route and say that's my physical evidence, I mean, I don't think that's how you conduct an investigation.
Is that how you
But
conduct science?
to my knowledge, I'm not a scientist. What you would do is you'd start with the evidence.
Mhm.
Okay. And as far as I know, you don't have access to all the evidence. And really, what you do have access to is, I'm not going to sit here and lie. You're a really smart guy, but you don't have specific expertise. So what you do have access to is, you're a smart guy. you don't have specific expertise on ballistics or sound and things like that. So having said all that, there's only so much that you can prove with the resources available to you. I mean, even with the sound deal, you saying it comes from the van. You know, there's a sound guy from Montana State University. I've shared that with you, and he said that it's a supersonic sound that comes out, and that's what would match the profile of a 30-06, not
Hmm.
anything subsonic or anything like that. And then he's able to pin down. It came, I think he said 140 something yards. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't exact, but it was from that area for where that shot came from. So
Yeah,
that's a
and I
guy
agree.
that's, I mean, that's a guy that wrote the book on that specific topic.
Yeah,
And
and
no
we
offense,
agree.
but yeah, I'm saying no offense,
I'm
but
saying it's basically the same thing he is, basically.
okay. But you said the sound was coming from the van.
No, I say that the sound was maybe a 30-06 coming from the
Hmm.
Losi Center roof.
I thought you said the sound came from the van.
No, the bullet went into the van from the roof.
Okay, I got you. I got you now. I misunderstood. So even then, if that's what you're saying, I mean, then you got to think about the logistics uh, of that kind of operation. Like you're
So
putting
let's think
people
about
at
it.
risk. Yeah.
So let's explore that,
Okay.
right? I mean, we can't do it right now because we don't have time, but that's the next step after the field demonstration, right? Like we have the physical evidence now saying that this is a really good explanation. Shouldn't we seriously consider that?
Consider that they were willing to potentially harm somebody by shooting a bullet from the Losi Center in the direction of Charlie Kirk to fabricate a 30-06, or not fabricate, but to simulate a 30-06 hitting Charlie in the neck.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be easier? It's just easier just to kill the guy.
That wasn't the mission objective. They love Charlie Kirk. That's their
Uh,
brother.
that's
They
their
don't want him
brother.
dead. What are you talking
Then why
about?
try? Then why try and kill him at all?
They're not.
Okay. Oh,
It would be
why fake
like
his day?
me trying to
Why
fake
fake his
Kelly's
death?
death in order to save Keli. I don't want to kill Keli. What are you talking
Okay.
about? Just kill Keli.
So you, that's what I'm saying. Like that doesn't
Let's
make
be
any
honest,
sense. Why
James. You'd
fake his
help him
death?
fake my death too. Come
I
on
would
now.
never, never, never wish death upon you.
You would
But
you would
that's
help
what
him fake it though. That's the thing. That's exactly Jordan's point. You wouldn't wish it upon me. You would, if there was danger to my life and I felt like it was the only way for me, with my only exit plan
Uh,
see,
safely.
this is my issue. I keep hearing the same thing over and over again. It would be so much easier to just kill him instead of fake his death. But they love him. What are you
okay. So
talking about?
if you love him, it would be easier just to lock him down and never have him, or well, not even lock him down, but make sure that he had government sponsored security or better security or whatever, like
Okay, so
security
you're
to
a
the
Fed.
max.
You're a Fed. You pretty much came out last, or not last show, but the show before. You're a Fed. Were you in on the meeting where they decided how they were going to save Charlie? And did you stand up and say what you just said right now? I know better. It's way easier to just do it this way instead of a fake death. Would you have stood up and said that in that meeting?
Now say that one more time.
Imagine you're in the meeting where they're discussing how on earth are we going to save Charlie from whatever, maybe it's a real death threat. How are we going to save Charlie? Someone proposes fake death. Are you going to stand up and say, "Oh no, I'm an expert on this"?
I would
I
say that is the most ridiculous thing that we can do. This guy's got a life. He's got kids. He's got people that adore him. That I was straight. That's probably the worst idea we can do.
and I'm going to say The person trying to kill him is going to stop at nothing. If it is their intention to kill him, they're going to succeed because they want it so bad. The
Okay.
only way we can get him to not be dead
Okay.
is to convince them that he's already dead. So let's do that.
In a very public way. Okay. Charlie Kirk is not, could not be Rapunzel that you lock up in a castle somewhere, right? And hide for, the rest of his life. Like, I just don't think that, and also it's not practical to have him be you can't say, oh, I'm going to get him the best security that money can buy and government protection out the wazoo. He was already probably paying $1 million+ bucks a year for his security, no doubt. He'd bragged before about having top level security, but have you seen how many times people do turn on you? Right? I mean, who could you trust in that point? And if there's a will, there's a way, right? So why not help him facilitate safely getting out as quickly as possible when you've got all your crew around you?
So there's a couple of things that you would probably do first. You'd probably eliminate the threat. And if you can't eliminate the threat, you mitigate the threat. I believe that Charlie, like anybody that's famous, has death threats thrown at him all the time. But at the same time, it would be better just to get rid of the threat. So he has access to, the president. He has access to all sorts of things. I think it would just
The
be easier
president
for
almost
them.
got killed.
Yeah, the president almost got killed. And I say this to people all the time. And I don't know if it falls on deaf ears or whatever, but sometimes people just suck at their jobs. I mean, there are governors that get elected and they suck at their jobs. You hire a plumber,
So maybe the
he just
person
sucks
who
at his
decided
job.
it was it should be a fake death, maybe they sucked at their job.
Yeah, that if they sucked at their job, okay.
Okay,
What I would
before
say
we get
is,
too far,
yeah.
before we get too far away, though, I want to go back to something that you just said, because otherwise I'll forget it. Is that you said he had access all the way up to the president? I agree, he did, and that's why now was the time to facilitate all of this, right? He was friends with Kash Patel. He was friends with Dan Bongino. Bongino's wife worked for Andrew Colvette doing Turning Point stuff. I mean, everywhere you look, he was set up with people around him at literally all layers. So he had the best possible scenario to facilitate exiting stage right and being able, in theory, to cover it up.
If
So,
anyone could fake their death, it was Charlie.
so I do want to point out a couple things. I think incompetence can explain a lot of things. There was a guy who went to one of Donald Trump's rallies, I believe it was in Montana, and they had barricades set up, and then they had checkpoints and everything like that to get in to see the president speak. And this is when he was running against Kamala Harris. And the guy was sitting there, and he's like, well, one person went over the barricade, just kind of cut the line, and then another person saw it. And then after a while, people were just kind of bunching up and not even following the barricades. And it's just because they didn't have enough staff and it wasn't organized. And this is the front runner for the United States, being the president of the United States. So, with Charlie Kirk, from what I gather from that day, there were people saying that there were tickets there, but at the end of the day, they were just basically saying, we know we have a ticketing system to get in here, but we're just throwing that out the window. We're just going to try and manage the situation as it goes. So I just believe it was a bunch of incompetence that can explain a lot of the things that happened that day. And then on top of that, with him faking his death, I still can't get to where that benefit lies. Like, what's the benefit in having a couple of kids think their dad is dead? Like, come on. Like, would you fake your death so and have your kids think you're dead for all of their life.
Do you think that that there's so many questions. We don't even know if the kids are really his kids. We don't even know if they exist because we've already established that none of us here actually knew Charlie in real life. And I would guarantee that none of us here actually know his kids either. And none of us here really know if his kids, what scenario the kids actually know about what happened. We're going based off of what Erica says in some national TV interviews, and we have definitely already established that she is not a credible individual.
No, we haven't established that.
And no
You guys
dad
may
in the
have.
history of America has ever kind of just not wanted to deal with their kids anymore, right?
Yeah, but from all that we've seen of Charlie, he's been super involved with his kids' lives, and it just doesn't gel from what we know of him. And then for people saying that
What
those
do you
aren't his
know of him,
kids,
though?
oh, I'm just saying what we know of him publicly.
Mm-hmm.
And for people say, yeah, exactly. And for people to say that his kids might not really even exist, that would get out some way somehow.
It
Like,
did, didn't it?
no, there might be rumors or speculations that I don't know about, but I've never seen anybody sit there and say that's any credible or anything like that come out and say those aren't his kids.
How have those kids been on stages and no one has ever sold a picture of those kids' faces to TMZ or something? That's what I want to, that's one question I would ask.
So with TMZ and a lot of these places, if I believe, and you could speak to this, Kelly, if somebody makes a concerted effort to keep their kids under wraps, would it be unethical for that news organization to plaster that kid's face all over the place?
It would be unethical, but I think we've certainly established that TMZ's ethics are.
Are you kidding me?
in the
Come on.
dumpster at best.
Well, I'm not saying they have great ethics, but like that would be a glaring example. I mean, Charlie's already polarizing, and for you to come out and say, screw
Okay,
all
the
that, here are his
National
kids.
Enquirer, the Sun. I mean, somebody's gonna buy it. Perez Hilton. I don't know. Some blogger on X. You guys, like, no one has had pictures of the kids' faces.
Well, for all we know, nobody has pictures of the kids' faces.
But they
I
have been
can't-
on stages. I'm just saying, like, they have
I've
been
never seen them on stage.
allegedly. Well, unless those are AI and photoshopped pictures too.
So you've
I
seen them on
can't
stage?
think of another example of someone else's kids who we can see their backs all the time, but we've never once seen their face.
So
As
I
like a
do know
celebrity.
I know someone, for example, here, I won't say their name personally, but here in Houston, who's an Astros player, and he and his wife had chosen for their two daughters to keep their faces turned. They post a ton of pictures of them, document everything in their lives, but every single time, their faces are turned. So you see their little pigtails and all that. You just never see the kids' faces. That's the only example that I personally know of or can think about. But the kids go to the baseball games. I mean, they're out in public all the time. So if you see them out, you're going to see them, but they just don't put it on social media.
TMZ isn't trying to get it.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do we feel like we concluded that topic?
Sure.
Yeah. I let's see. I can scroll back through the chat. I'd start a couple of things and then I got a little sidetracked, but
Was Blake in the chat?
Yeah, he doesn't need to be.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Let's go into this.
We don't need any more feds in here anyway.
We don't need any more drama in here is what we don't need. All right.
Jordan, I'm trying to joke with you. It's real hard to joke with you, man.
It's okay. I bring enough laughs and Jordan keeps it serious. So that's why we're, a good yin and yang.
I know he smiles. It's just hard to get it out of him.
All right. So I wanted to make a statement real fast that I did prepare. So this is just a statement, just sort of compiling all the evidence that Charlie Kirk is still alive. We have, when we look at Charlie Kirk, we have no burial. Charlie Kirk is still on the board website 7 months later. We have all this drama about maybe there's no autopsy, maybe there is, maybe there's not. Everyone thinks there isn't one, and then there is. We don't know. There's video of his hands moving after the supposed decordicate posturing. We have like 3 or 4 different examples where it looks like his fingers are moving, his wrist flips up, and it's like not because someone else is moving it. We have his arm moving up, but it looks like his fingers are active, and he's not trying to maintain position. Supposedly in decordicate posturing, which is supposed to maintain, but his flesh is still normal skin tone, so it's not like his heart stopped. So it should still maintain this position, but it's not. We have fingers moving. We have all the stuff moving. We also have no one is grieving as expected, except for the parents who are markedly grieving, but no one else is grieving like a normal human. We have people ducking right before the shot. The audio guy does this or whatever, like immediately before the shot. We have a hand signal, whoop, 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 boom, immediately before the shot. We have all this coordination immediately before the shot, immediately after the shot. We have people walking away calmly after the shot. Mikey McCoy, phone to his ear. Apparently it's because he was plugging his ear, but it doesn't look like it. He just walks away casually immediately. We have Terrell Farnsworth declaring him dead immediately, even though Terrell Farnsworth left before Charlie even hit the ground. But no, he's declaring him dead in a video only seconds afterward. Not a doctor. Terrell Farnsworth is declaring him dead, matter-of-factly, with no information to support that. Because people do survive those gunshot wounds every day. We have fake hands in a casket. We have those fake hands in the casket. And so,
why do you,
attention?
so real quick, why do you think his hands were
hold
fake?
on, I'm almost done.
Okay.
None of this stuff feels real.
Okay.
What do you say to that, James?
So why do you say his hands were fake?
Because they look like that.
What do you mean they look
small.
like that? They're too small?
Yeah, they're too small. They're the same size as Erica's. Keli, how tall are you? Can I ask you that?
I'm 5'8".
So that's about how tall Erica is, right?
Probably about how tall Erica is. Yeah. And this is specifically a man's hand. So I thought I had 2 of these hands here today. It looks like maybe the other one's here tomorrow. And then I think I ordered another one for this weekend.
So
you guys. So.
Well, height doesn't mean a whole lot.
Could have like makeup on them too. I just want to remind people, don't just take this as the only color of hands that there is.
Well, I didn't know if
so
you meant the color of the hand.
If Keli and I were in the same room, and if I were to put my giant, humongous hand on top of hers, it's going to be like twice the size. Like, I mean, I have a different camera angle, but
like
my hand is going to be like twice the size of Keli's, because male versus female, and I'm 6'2", almost Charlie's height. But when we look at the hands in the casket, Charlie's 6'4", and Erica's about 5'8" or something, and yet the hands are the same size.
All right.
So what the heck,
so,
man?
I can speak to that
Kinda
a little
sus,
bit.
Right?
No, I can speak to that a little bit. I can tell you a couple of stories. So I have a cousin. It's too much information, but I do have a cousin. He's 6'4". Is he good? What happened?
Hopefully he's okay.
Sorry, I pulled a muscle weird. I thought that was going to be super painful, but it wasn't. I'm good. Sorry, go ahead.
You good? All right. I have a cousin who's 6'4". I've got bigger hands than he does. I knew a guy.
But we have photos of him. We have photos of them.
Well, I'm getting to
with
it.
their hands together, and his hands are huge, and hers aren't.
Well, I'm getting to that. And okay, so I knew this girl. She was a barrel racer. Man, I'm telling you guys too much information about me. But she was a barrel racer, and she actually had bigger hands than me. I was surprised. Like she put her hands up to me, and like I was like, "Geez," and she was shorter than me. She was 5 foot, maybe 6 or oh, this is too much information. She's about 5'6" or so, and she had bigger hands than me. Uh, like I just couldn't believe it. I've also seen, the fact
But
that
she's
the
not
guy.
Erica.
Well, I don't know how big Erica's hands are. I
Well, we
We
mean,
have
you
do
the
have
though.
photo here. I'm gonna get the photo. I'm
Let's
gonna
pull
get
up
the
the
photo.
photo.
Don't worry. Yeah,
okay.
We
I'm on
have the
it. But keep
photo.
keep telling us the story, please. We're
Well, I'm just saying, like,
envisioning.
this. I'm just saying that hand size is a good indicator of sex or something like that. So if you ever, are dating a girl and you get some kind of suspicious feelings about whether she might be really a girl, look at her hands. But that's not a hard and fast rule. It it's a
Whether
it's
she
something you
might
can base it
really
off
be
of,
a
but it's
girl.
not a.
Like transgender, I guess, is what you
You know
mean?
what I meant? Yeah,
Is
exactly.
that
Okay.
what this boils down to again? See, look, it's about the Fed slop trying to create
No, I'm
a
just saying
trans narrative.
it's not a hard fast rule, but there's some truth to it, but it's not a hard fast rule is all there is to it. So
But we're gonna pull up the photo.
all right, pull up the
Yes.
photo. And
Okay.
then while she's pulling the photo up, tell me what you meant by his hands moving or not moving. What was that, when he was shot or after he was shot? When was that?
Give me a second. I'll pull it up after
I've
Kelly.
got I've got the hands pick.
While you're doing that, do you mind if I stall? I can just tell some more crazy stories about people I've known in my life.
Go ahead. Fill the dead air.
Go for it.
Okay. Yeah. So that girl that was the barrel racer, she had a club foot. I'm not even joking. She had a club foot. So, that was another interesting thing about her. I don't know
A
if
what?
that's a club foot.
Like a birth
What does
defect?
that like?
Yeah,
What
she
does
had
that?
like a
Yeah. What does that
I'm just
entail?
it's just her foot was all messed up is all.
Okay. Did Erica have a
I'm
birth
just filling
defect?
up the space. I'm just filling up the dirt. I'm just filling up the
Okay,
dead air.
he's trying
I'm just
to.
rambling.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Don't worry, I'm
All
here
right,
to save the day.
save it.
All right.
All right.
Should I have zoomed in more? Sorry.
Yeah, here we
Okay.
go.
Yeah, he's got massive hands.
Uh-huh. Does Erica have massive hands?
Um, I don't know. Like his hands look like they're larger than the average man, and
Uh-huh.
she might have large hands for a woman. I don't know. They're not massive.
Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, you're probably right. She probably has normal hands.
Can we pull up the casket photo?
Get the
Okay.
casket
And
photo.
hold on. Yep. Stand by. And I have another one just in case anybody, feels sus about that picture. I'll even bring up this is a less commonly looked at one, but I think a solid example nonetheless.
All right, pull it on up. I'm waiting for it.
Okay.
While you're doing that,
You got more throwback Thursday treasures for us?
nothing that's going to beat the clubfoot girl that was a barrel racer. I don't know if there's ever going to be anything that beats that. Okay. He's got a handmaid
What
from
are
the
the
Handmaid's Tale.
chances, you guys? Wait, is she doing the sign? Oh,
I think that's her thumb, isn't it?
is she
That's her
doing
thumb.
the sign?
What's the sign? Show me the sign.
I didn't even.
What's the sign?
Right?
I'm out of the loop. What's the sign?
I think.
Yes,
Um,
I think she is.
What's the
Anyway, we'll
sign?
have to look into that a little. I can't tell. Anyway, like that's
I don't think
wow.
so. Her right hand?
Yeah, I guess that's her right hand.
I
What
don't
is the
think
sign?
so.
I need to
Okay.
know what the
All
sign
right.
is.
I couldn't tell if there were two fingers in there or one, but okay. Anyway, I was like,
I don't think
whoa,
so.
if she's doing the sign, like even in this engagement photo and then again at his memorial, y'all, like, that's crazy, crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway. Okay. Sorry.
Okay,
False
I can
alarm.
now.
False alarm. Okay.
Let's
Casca.
find the. Why will this
I'm on
not
it.
let me zoom?
It doesn't like you today.
Yeah. Somebody's like, glasses, Keli. Yes. Sorry, guys. I know I need to adjust my lights in here so they don't have such a glare.
Uh-oh. We're in trouble now.
That's right. I'm getting serious.
I don't know.
Yeah, it reflects off your glasses sometimes.
Yep. Yep.
Have you ever seen the comedian make fun of 50 Cent who becomes a computer tech? And he said all 50 Cent did was put on some glasses. And he was saying, I'm a computer tech. So, they help. I'm not getting anything out of you guys.
Sorry, Kelly's looking for a
focused.
photo and I'm just looking through a video. I did not hear that one bit. My apologies.
No, you guys are good. I'm just rambling.
The chat hears you though.
Okay.
They do? All right.
Yeah, here we go. I've got it. I got it. Now let me add this in.
So, all right. What are we looking at now?
No, it's
Just wait. Don't worry.
It's
Don't worry. Don't worry.
Erica's.
I'm gonna. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. Okay. I've got them loading it in. This was a screen recording of the whole thing because
it's
you
the
never know when they're
creepy
gonna.
whispering narrative.
Here we go.
I love you.
Okay.
Okay.
Here, we'll play.
Like,
We'll play.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you see the problem, James? Please
Well, I
tell
was
me
gonna
that you
say
see the
this.
problem.
I was going to say this earlier. Part of it could be a couple of things. Your body dehydrates or the water, whatever, out of your body when you die. It also could be they probably really did use prosthetic hands and put those there.
Why?
I don't know. A lot of times.
You're just playing around now. Come on,
No,
don't
I'm
troll.
No, I'm not trolling. I'm saying whenever they have, or I've looked into anybody using prosthetics like that, there's been a major accident or something. But I don't know.
Was there a major accident that happened to Charlie Kirk's hands?
No, I'm just saying. I said
Okay, so that was
yeah.
We had number one and we had number two. So dehydration.
Yeah.
I don't think that does anything to bones though. And then we have the funeral people used prosthetic hands. What do we have any other ideas?
It could be that that's just what it is. I mean,
Couldn't you
that's his
think? Can you
hands.
think of a reason why the funeral home might use prosthetic hands?
Oh, I've already said if there's a major accident,
But there
they'll use
wasn't one.
prosthetics. Yeah, I know. I just threw that out there.
Can you think of any other reason why the hands might be a completely different size?
Dehydration, or the
Does that
water.
shrink bones?
Does it shrink bones? No, it doesn't
Yeah.
shrink bones.
Okay. So it's not dehydration, right?
What do you mean?
So it's not dehydration.
I don't know that.
I have an idea. I'm going to put it to you straight.
Okay.
Maybe the reason the hands are smaller than Erica's is because it's not Charlie Kirk's hands.
You know what? If you want to say that that's not actually Charlie Kirk's body, and they wanted to, just kind of stage that, I could go with that. Sure.
I think we have a believer now.
Oh no, absolutely not.
I think that's a
So
great note to end on.
it's a start. It is at least a start. It is a crack in the facade. I think we have made some
All right.
progress.
We made
So,
progress.
all right. So I
Closing
do
words,
want to say,
James.
yeah, I just looked it up. So post-mortem dehydration, 60% of your body weight drains. So, that would be my explanation for that.
But not the bones. And no mortician is
Uh,
going to tell you that that is going to just be from dehydration. They don't shrink that much. Any
I said
closing thoughts,
60%.
James?
I do not feel like conducting an investigation where you start with your premise and work backwards is the way to go.
Keli, did you start with the premise?
I started with what I saw and what didn't make sense to me. And I began researching. I had questions right away. And I always have to give my son credit because my, at the time, 9-year-old, when he saw the video, he said, "Mom, he's wearing a squib." I didn't even know what a squib was.
And me, same way. I didn't get to fake death theory nearly as soon as they did, but I got there because number one, we had some physicist come on and say that the math conclusively puts it into the van, the bullet, not into Charlie Kirk. And then I saw Keli seemed pretty reasonable, found out she was on fake death theories. I'm like, what the heck is this? And then I realized once I take some courses online about squibs that it actually explains a lot of stuff that nothing else explains. And then I figured out I could demonstrate it. And what do you know? Now I'm a squibber. So I did
Yeah.
not start
Oh,
out with the premise. I started off with the evidence. So did Keli. So I reject your statement.
okay. Well,
All
when I
right.
say you've got to start with all of the evidence, and you don't have all the evidence just yet. Now, if you have all the evidence from the autopsy, you have all the evidence from uh, the family members and all this other stuff. I mean, I think that's when you can actually evaluate what happened. But just using the video and I think you would agree with this, your limited knowledge on all these topics, much more advanced than mine. I mean, I think you're bound to jump to, or not jump to, but go down conclusions that aren't accurate.
James, I got to stop you right there and say that sounds to me like when I first tried getting into this investigation, and when I first did get into the investigation, and the gun bros, the military bros told me that I didn't have anything to contribute to this case because I wasn't a veteran and I wasn't out shooting on the range every weekend.
I'm not
No.
saying that. I'm saying
I
you've
know
got to
you're
have
not
all the
saying that,
evidence.
but you're saying that he doesn't have this, whatever kind of expertise or experience. Well, he's doing everything that he can to research, like day in and day out, on developing. He's doing work. He's, literally building things.
Mhm.
I'm researching these people to the nth degree, and in addition to that, have 12 plus years of investigative journalism experience. So, it's not like we're just people off the street who've read a couple of true crime novels or have watched a couple of Netflix series.
We have demonstration.
And I have the federal
Okay.
government.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? They're going to have to call in for some reinforcements or start doing some magic tricks, pulling some white rabbits out of the hats because it's now looking too hot.
The thing that's, like I said, when all the evidence comes out, when all the evidence is available for everyone to kind of look at, I mean, that's when you can really look back and figure out what really happened. And until we get all that, that's kind of where I'm at.
Got you.
All right. Well, we
Thank you.
always appreciate you coming on, James. We appreciate your perspective. We appreciate your feedback. We are going to get off to the next segment here. We really appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on, sir.
Thank you,
No
James.
problem. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. And here we go. All right. We are moving on to the next segment where we are going to sort of try to launch the new channel in such a way that we're going to go over exclusively to that new channel, Try and Prove It channel. If you are joining us on X, go to the handle at Try and Prove It, switch to that live stream. I will
I'll
post
write it
that
in the
into
chat right now. Yeah.
Yes. In the YouTube chat, and I will go over to X to make sure that everybody knows where we're going. It's also in the YouTube description. And let me go here. And I'm going to post a comment to my X live stream. Go over to Try and Prove It to catch the rest of the stream, please. And I'm going to copy that, and I will comment that on Keli's as well. Is that me? I don't think
Sorry,
that's
that
me.
was me. My I was just came through because my son texted me 3 times. He's
Do you
trying
need to?
It's okay. It's okay. He just
Are you sure?
yeah. He just broke his arm, you guys, and so he must be using his other arm. So anyway, as we're transitioning
Do we
over
want
to
to
the other
recess
stream-
for 3 minutes and wait for everyone to go over there?
Yeah. If you don't mind, just so I can go make sure
Yeah.
that he's good.
Family comes first. We will go into a recess here for 3 minutes. We'll come back, and it will just be the Try and Prove It channel on YouTube and on X. Okay.
Try and prove it. Thanks, you guys.
All right, and we're going to go into me, and Keli is now muted. I guess I'm full screen now. I will hold down the fork for a few minutes and find Keli's and post it there for the people on X on Keli's channel. What we're going to talk about for the rest of the night is what the future of the Try and Prove It channel will be. It's going to be super exciting. Okay. And now I can get off that, I believe, and I can close out on those and have an open tab. And now I'm going to start removing the personal accounts, my personal account. So please go to the channel in the description on YouTube or in the comment under the X live stream to catch the rest of the stream. I will now remove my X. Remove. Don't delete, just remove, please. My X stream is now down. And now I will remove Keli's. Remove, do not delete. And now I will remove my YouTube. So if you were watching on my YouTube channel, go down to the link in the description and catch the rest of the stream there, please, because this stream will now end. But we are continuing the live stream. Remove. Boop. And now Keli's is the last one. So if you are now joining on Keli's live stream on YouTube, please go into the link in the description or in the chat somewhere, I think, and catch us over there on that live stream to catch the rest of the stream. We're not even, we're definitely not done yet, okay?